Did you come today to commune with the Master? Did you come today expecting anything? Did you come prepared to look at a Master in the eyes, to really sense in the depths of your soul the union of yourself and that Master? This Master, Om Ritas. He's from the Vata planet. The Vata planet went through the same thing this planet is going through right now. He was the savior of that planet. They got all the people together who had awareness, and they changed it from the negative to the positive. Om Ritas. He gave a dictation some time ago. It's recorded at volume 34, number 65, if you happen to be one who wanted to chase this back to study it some more. For this man has some unbelievable teaching. We think we are well along the way. Just wait. He begins by saying, out of the light of the great central sun, I am Om Ritas, and I am here. Do you feel him? That's important. Do you feel him? If you don't, you need to go a little deeper. You need to open that door into your heart more. As Jesus said, if you don't feel the vibration around the crown chakra, you really need to do a few more violet flame decrees. You need to go a little deeper. You need to get more serious. He said, I have come to give you a boost. Yes, beloved, I plant myself firmly in the earth, containing the earth in my aura. Now, did you notice what he just said? Can you imagine somebody's aura that is so big that it contains the whole earth, and there's more left over? This is a master, a master. Now, our auras, what does it do? It reaches out about 10, 15 feet, hopefully. But this man, this being, his aura goes around the earth, containing the earth in my aura for 33 days, clocking from this hour. In other words, when he came for a 33-day cycle to give us a boost. He said, and in this cycle, which is a purple fire, a purple golden cycle of the sun, I multiply your decrees to the violet flame specifically for the change in physical conditions on planet Earth. Physical conditions in your life. Physical conditions pertaining to the economic matters, to matters of education and service and life plan and relationships. It is a cycle, beloved. When you could so liberate your souls by the multiplication of my presence and my further multiplication of the violet flame, that I dare say you should not miss a moment to recite a mantra, even if it is between thoughts, or steps or devotion, devotional songs you sing. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. This mantra alone invokes the violet flame in all of my causal body. Do you grasp it? Do you get it? We don't have to sit down and say, okay, hey, Om Ritas, are you around? All we have to do is, I'm a being of violet fire, I'm the purity God desires. We already are tuning in to this great, great powerhouse. It's a beautiful thing. He said, you have accomplished what you have accomplished. I desire to see you accomplish more, for you have not yet reached the critical mass where certain elements may melt, where certain world chemicalization may take place that can bring about a greater harmonization of the elements of mind and heart and of peoples. You have not reached that point of the critical mass of the Christ consciousness in the seventh ray. And you thought you were well along the path. What he's saying is, you barely scratched the surface. We haven't become so powerful that things melt. Makes one think. I mean, we've churned up quite a bit of energy this weekend. It felt great. We filled this room and more. It was power. But though we've accomplished a lot, we haven't accomplished enough to actually change the earth. And this is what he's saying. He said, would you be as Saint Germain, walking the earth as a Christed one of the seventh ray? Think about it. Would you be in Saint Germain's shoes? Would you move out as Saint Germain? He said, it is the calling of the hour, and I have come to assist you. Yes, I come to give you a boost. May you please, beloved ones, take advantage of this boost, that I may continue to give dispensations, for even I am subject to the cosmic law of karmic manifestation. Yes, beloved. See that you do not make karma with me. See that you do not make karma with me. That's with Om Ritas. By failing to take advantage of my proffered gift to you. For I desire to have complete independent freedom, to be able to give to planet Earth in dire moments those dispensations and transfusions of violet flame that are so desperately needed. Now, I don't know whether you were around when Moria was benched, as they called it. But he gave and he gave and he gave and he gave until his students not responding, he became indebted. He could lose his ascendance, his ascension, if they would let him go, because the students were not doing what they promised. And so instead of losing his ascension, the higher up says, you've had it, man. You can't do anymore. You're benched. Now, I was on staff at this time. We decreed hour and hour by hour by hour, day after day after day after day after day, to try to pay the price that the students had lazily let go. This is what he's talking about. He comes, he brings a whole bunch of masters with him, but if we don't respond, he creates, it's karma to him. Because when you give, it must come back. There has to be balance. It isn't giving, 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 giving. No, the universe demands balance. So when you give, it will come back to you. You give, and then you get, you give, you get, and so on. And this is what he's saying here. Don't make it a situation where he becomes indebted, or we become indebted, I don't know which side you can say it on, to the point where he cannot give anymore. This is very important for us to understand. He said, therefore, let the violet singing flame sing in your heart. And may you also take up other disciplines in which the violet flame shall assist you, following the instructions that Saint Germain has given you for a scientific path of adeptship. Therefore, beloved, in gratitude to God, apply this opportunity as you have been grateful for the opportunity of Helios and Vesta and for Helios's dispensations and answers to your calls. I come as the ruler of the violet planet. And in this 33 days, beloved, you may prepare yourselves through saturation of the violet flame, so that at the end of the time, I may be able to take a company of you to the violet planet. Did you hear what he said? If you apply yourself, work with it, and so on, he's prepared to take a group of us to the violet planet. He said, it is my desire to take an entire group of souls of planet Earth who are practicing their ashram rituals and are practicing the ritual for transport and holy work. And we did part of that ritual. I had that worked in this morning so that you can experience what he's talking about. So you know what that ritual is. He said, we will go on a journey out of the body, not to a place on earth for service, which service is, of course, your vital nightly work, but to the violet planet, on a journey that I have planned for you who are of this group. What group? Disciples. For I desire to have a first-hand eyewitness account so that you can bring back from the inner levels to those in the etheric octaves as well as to those in the physical embodiment a direct knowledge of events. And now they are transpiring and of life on that planet. Some of you have been there before. Some of you have actually lived there. Some of you have served there with elemental life. Yes, beloved, you shall enjoy seeing what has taken place there since you left. I desire to show you these things, beloved, so that you can see firsthand and have the record in your being that those things which are projected to manifest on earth need not be, and that they are not insurmountable, as Saint Germain has told you. Many conditions that descend as the dire forebodings of plague and the return of the conditions that have happened in earlier centuries. Yes, beloved, these things can be transmuted. I ask you to look for ways and means to accomplish the task. For the violet flame is the ingenious flame, and the minds of many ingenious ones have used it for many purposes. I ask you to devise then ingenious ways whereby you can teach children and people of all ages to sing the violet flame, to march and clap and dance and even square dance to the violet flame. And as long as it is with a mighty rhythm and an action of the correct time, beloved, you can use the violet flame in all sorts of occupations, all sorts of sports and physical exercises. Cannot the mind act? Do we not see certain athletes and runners wearing headsets? Let them hear and know the violet flame. Let them run to the rhythm of it. Let their heartbeats be restored to the action of the threefold flame, of the waltz of the flame. This is health. This is tuning. This is experiencing. This is working with nature, with God, the God vibration. Yes, beloved. There are many physical activities that can be accompanied by joyous shouts of the violet flame and songs not yet written down. There is, therefore, activity in everyone's daily life that can be combined with the violet fire. Let it be a joyous flame, a marching flame, a singing flame, a waltzing flame, a hopping, skipping flame. All of the chores that were previously drudgery, let them become spinning wheels of light. Yes, beloved, you must convert a world to the use of the violet flame if you are to accomplish the hurdle that is before you. Therefore, I truly say, seek out the ingenuity of the seventh ray and the violet flame, and let it be done quickly. You are welcome to be seated in the violet flame, which is waiting in your seats, for my angels have placed it there. And it is a cool flame, and yet many seem warm to you. Yet it may seem warm to you, beloved, for it contacts the toxins in your being and the misqualified substance. And until you can feel the coolness, you will feel the warmness and sometimes the hotness. And therefore, do not accuse me of giving you a hot seat, beloved, for it is your own heat of your misqualified substance, and you yourselves have created the hot seat. But you have invoked the violet flame, and the best is yet to come. For the coolness of that flame is a regulating energy that does keep your four lower bodies in a point of self-regeneration and rejuvenation. Oh, the violet flame. It shall sing his praises unto the sun. May you be grateful to work with the elementals, for these elementals are whispering to one another and jumping up and down and so happy that you have the tapes that you can use to bless and heal them. Teach these songs to children and tell them about the elementals. Tell them about the angels. Tell them about the unseen helpers. The power of the resurrection flame is mighty, and therefore on these tapes you weave it with the violet flame. And the weaving of the resurrection flame with the violet flame shall give new impetus to billions upon billions upon billions of elementals of fire, air, water, and earth who serve the evolutions of planet Earth. And you shall change. You shall see change. You shall see change. I say participate in it and have the prize of having contributed to the mighty stream, it should be. Visualize the Ganges as a violet flame river. Visualize the oceans as violet flame oceans. And all of the waters, even the water that you drink, beloved, let it become blessed by your hands, left and right, left underneath. So you take a glass, you put your left hand underneath, put your right hand on the top. As you bless that water and call for it to become your violet flame elixir. There's a master telling you how to do it. The question is, can we remember the instruction as we walk out the door? Or do we just allow it to be another experience in listening? It's very important. You want to become the violet flame? Then listen to the instruction. You can do so much for yourself. See the violet flame purging the mind and emptying your cells of those substances that you should never have partaken of in the first place. Now that you know the correct dietary laws, those promoted by Saint Germain and Moria, may you follow them. For we desire to see eternal youth, but you must obey the laws of the physical body to achieve it. And we shall not continue to speak about diet, but we know that you will see that the path of adeptship must be the path of mastery of the four quadrants of being. Saint Germain has told you that the violet flame is a physical flame, and therefore it can and does change physical matter where you cooperate with it. If by free will you violate the laws of physics in your body and the biochemistry, then, beloved, you are working against the violet flame, and you will have to live with the consequences of your own free will. Shall I stop for us to meditate upon that? Shall we look at our own lives, our daily lives, what we eat, what we think, what we feel? This is a master speaking. Instruction, class number 1 or 2 or 3, whatever. I am gratified that I have been able to place a great reservoir of the violet flame sea in the center of the earth. Were you to decree 24 hours a day, beloved, you would never in a million years exhaust the potential of the sea to multiply your cause. Whenever you decree, finish it. Finish your decrees by calling on this great master to multiply. He said he would multiply it 10 times. So if you multiply, and if you decree 15 minutes and you call for it to be multiplied by 10, how many minutes does that mean that you have just decreed? When you see these kind of shortcuts for us, and then we don't use them, what's the use? Were every life stream on planet Earth to give the violet flame 24 hours a day, you would still not exhaust the potential of the violet flame sea to multiply your decrees. Therefore, the greater the number of you who come together in the geometry of God to invoke the violet flame, the greater will be the number of light bearers you contact through your ashram ritual meditations as you visualize great Antakarana, the great Antakarana, and let that Antakarana be seen as white, as blue, and as violet. Alternate these visualizations. When you desire to see the connection of all light bearers in the violet ray, then see the Antakarana as a violet filigree. See it strengthened. See it become a mighty net of the Lord our God, even the great dragnet that does bring in all of the fishes who are the souls who are ready to return to the mouth of God. Yes, beloved, there is a wondrous work to do, and there is not a moment in this work that is not a joyous moment when you do it with the violet flame. I don't know whether you've experienced it as well, but sometimes when I get ready to do my decrees, I'm rather fatigued, and I have to do 2 hours of decrees, and it's hard. It's hard to get going on it. But what I have found was, ignore that. That's only opposition. Start in, get into it, and you'd be surprised 2 hours goes just like that. It's just amazing how we must become masters of our own being. When you do it with the anticipation of great return current, when you do it with a confidence that the law acts, it will work. And I am here to tell you it will work. The law of invocation, the science of decrees, is the mathematics all its own. It is a calculus all its own, beloved, and therefore it does not err or fail. And when you put into the computer of the mind of God that exact formula, that exact equation, it shall give back to you that exact formula and that exact equation multiplied by the golden cycle of the sun and by the power of the purple golden cycle of the sun, which I also bring. So know, beloved, that this seventh ray action is a formula that must contain within it not simply a set of numbers or a chemical formula. It is rather a formula of numbers. And more, it is a formula of energy vibrations from your chakras, of rays of light, of sacred fire raised up. You endow your formula with the fire of being. Thus it is so simple as writing, thus it is not so simple as writing numbers on a paper. Nevertheless, you have the ability to give this formula, for the key to the formula and to its science is love. And the love of the heart is a 12-petal design exact. And those 12 petals are all that is required to construct any formula whatsoever that has to do with the science of the drawing forth of the rays of God from the central sun. Thus, as Jesus taught, when you come to the altar, if you have not forgiven brother or sister, if you have not surrendered wrath or anger or hate and hate creation, if you have not sought the purging of your soul and the flame of forgiveness, you must go back and accomplish these things and then come again to the altar. For the altar is the place of change, of alteration, of alchemy, as you have been taught. And to the altar, you must come bearing a strong flame of divine love. And as you hold this votive light cupped in your hands, beloved, that flame of love becomes the fire enfolding itself that shall manifest the divine formula. And in that formula of love, every human need can be met. Therefore, when you decree in the heart of love. And if you need to decree to get to the heart of love, of course, do so. If you need to wield the sword of blue flame and give calls to Astrea, if you need to bathe and change your clothes and feel that you are coming as a supplicant before the altar of God, having performed outer and inner ablutions, then of course, do so. There are many techniques whereby you can bring yourself to that physical and mental strength that will enable you to tarry at the altar and hold a strong flame of divine love. And your mind's eye is able to see 360 degrees out through the circumference of your aura. Wherever you look, no matter what the face, it is the divine love manifest as the violet flame that you will send forth through your heart to all who are just and the unjust and the real and the unreal, the servant and the light there, the light or darkness. Let violet flame go forth from your aura. Call to beloved Kuan Yin to place her electronic presence over you, that the power of the merciful heart you may qualify an entire planet with the momentum of mercy as the violet living flame. And then he changes subjects. Listen to this one. In another vein, I desire you to visualize yourself, picture yourself constructing with violet flame your own craft. A craft that is able to journey through the sea, through the atoms of the earth, beyond the atmosphere, in interplanetary space and beyond. Are you grasping this? You thought you were well along the way. He only gives this to high schoolers or colleges, or I'm saying at a certain level. So we are a certain level, right? So now we get a new vision. We have been working on the violet flame, working with the violet flame, our own healing, the healing of other people and so on. And suddenly here he comes dropping a bomb, they call it nowadays. You're supposed to be working on an interplanetary spacecraft made out of violet flame so that you can travel to the violet planet. You can travel to the moon. You can travel anywhere you want to go. This is the teaching of a master, believe it or not. This craft is an extension of your being. Even as your automobile or airplane might be the extension of your being. So you get in your automobile, you turn the switch, the motor starts up, and you drive down the road. You get there, you turn off the motor, you get out of the car, and you do whatever you're going to do. This is the same thing. You're now creating a spiritual craft that can take you to the sun behind the sun, to any of the cosmic beings out there. You have journeys to take, beloved, that require more than a robe of light. These journeys can be taken by you in crafts that have been constructed by those of our bands. It is time then that you understood the laws of creating such vehicles. If this is a new concept to you, then you need to do some thinking about it. But he's got some suggestions along that line. He said, by invocation to the violet flame and the visualization of a spherical or oblong craft, you shall fill in the design and therefore be able to occupy a force field of protection that will appear as and precipitate as solid, that will contain all the things you need in the unascended state to be away from home for lengths of inner soul travel outside the physical body. Hey, he's not kidding. I mean, this isn't just something we do everyday decree. It's now beginning to see we have some traveling to do. We have some other planets to visit. We have some things that need to be done. When are we going to get past the point where we still have too much to clean up of ourselves before we can do this? Suddenly, it becomes a completely different aspect. Once you have the conceptualization of this craft, beloved, you simply fill in each time you give the violet decree, the violet flame. You do not place too much attention upon it, for you know your primary purpose is to dissolve the causes and core of war, to utterly consume and deactivate all harmful weapons, and to foil the plans of the enemy on the astral and the physical planes. You have priorities in the balancing of karma, the purification of the planet, and of course, of utmost importance, the urgent in this hour is your service with the elementals. So, beloved, I give you this thought and thought form, that you might tend to it as you are able, but not let it become the preoccupation or a preoccupying situation of your minds. In other words, hold this in your consciousness, and as you decree, you will start filling in. The thoughts will be given to you by the master as you get ready for this. Listen to this moment of silence with the inner ear. Now we go into another step, because this is very important. If you're going to be traveling around, you ought to be able to get some instruction. But if we can't hear, then what are you going to do? Go out and just float around in space for a while? We need to begin to see. We should have by this time been able to hear the Spirit speak. He said, listen in this moment of silence with the inner ear. So listen. Listen. He said, I am extending your hearing beyond earth. Listen with your inner ear. As you send forth the extension of the inner ear to contact the sounds of the universe and beyond, notice how you define the known area of the occupation of your mind by the hearing of the inner ear. Where your hearing stops, your sense of space and time also stops. Thus visualize the stars and the galaxies, and your hearing expanding to that extent of the Milky Way. Now I've asked if you would permit me to give you some tips on hearing. It's very, very important. What do you hear? What are you looking for? What you're supposed to hear? Your sound of the stillness sounds like your own thought. First, you tune yourself in, because you can hear anything from the lowest to the highest. So you tune until you feel a vibration around your crown chakra. That's your identification that you're high enough to work with your I am presence and the master. And then, what does that sound like? That sounds like your own thought. Probably all of you have heard your name called, but no one around to call it. Carl, you call me? No. Well, I heard my name called. Where'd it come from? Not outside, it came from inside. So how do you know which is you imagining and something outside you? It's when it comes in. You can only think one thought at a time. So you will notice the Bible says, even before you ask, the Father knoweth what you need of. And so you say, Father, how about it? And boom, you already, there it is. It's already in there. It butts right in on top. But you can't do that. You can try it, but you can only form one thought at a time with your mind. But they always butt in. And so you say, shall I? It's right there. It's right there. You know, even before you get it out of your thought pattern. This is what you're looking for. And you will notice, as he's saying here, you start stretching your inner ear. You start stretching it. You can just feel it. You can sense it. When you all at once it starts, and you keep hearing it, keeps going and going and going and going. That's what you're looking for. Now, he also says, notice how you transcend the lesser mind and you begin to occupy time and space through the universal mind of God that is your Holy Christ self. In reaching for extended hearing, you have also reached for the extended mind of God. When you reach the outer limits of the mental body, and yet continue to occupy the mind and extend its occupation, you find yourself making a transition to the mind of God. You do not accomplish this through the brain, through the lower mental body, but through the sheer desire and meditation upon the Christ mind and the intense listening with the inner ear. If I feel tremendous vibration around the crown chakra, I look for a place to sit down where I can get real still. What is it that I'm hearing? Or if I'm flying on a little plane, I used to fly a little plane. It's really questionable whether I should fly on further. I go to the corner where there's no one around and I can sit down. You guys hear, it's there. Is it best if I sit tight or do I go? What do you hear? It's there. They always are there. There's always angels around you. But you have to be in tune with them. And you have to reach out and let it happen. If you will enter into this meditation before you retire, even you will find that you can strengthen it and extend the hearing power of the inner ear. You can listen to light waves, light rays. They have a sound. You can listen to the turning of the worlds and stars and suns and planets. Ask Nancy how many times I've asked her, do you hear a motor running? You hear it, she says, no, there's no motor running. You know, she's saying, oh no, I'm hearing something. They have more than a sound. They have a symphony of sound. You may hear the roaring of the sea of the light, the roaring of the waterfall of light. And this process will come to you with greater faculty as you give the bija mantras. That's why we started with one today, so that you know what we're talking about. To the feminine deities. And tune the chakras with the Sanskrit sounds and the intonations. The science of mantra will bring you to the heart of mantra in the nucleus of every atom or heavenly body or the point of seed of light within you. Yes, beloved, ponder the mystery of life in the moments of the quietude and meditation. This is a needed soul nourishment and balance to the daily battle of challenging the forces of Antichrist in the earth. These do assault your messenger, your families, yourselves, your path, and your attainment. Be on guard, beloved, for we have entrusted you with as great a light as you can bear, and yet remain protected. Do not fail to invoke the protection of Archangel Michael. Be liberal in your calls to him, erring on the side of more than less. 144,000 priests of the sacred fire from the Violet Planet have accompanied me for this 33-day sojourn. May you know that we intend to make our mark and to make a difference in the quality of life on earth. We anticipate and look forward to your fullest cooperation. We desire to see you and the light bearers and keepers of the flame of the earth be able to retain the presence of one such priest or priestess of the violet flame, the seventh ray, to be able to retain it after the 33 days of our presence here. Isn't that worth it? We can earn ourselves one of the big priests, the great priests of the sacred fire from the Violet Planet, to be with us as an angel. This is an experiment. If you cooperate and take full advantage of it, we shall be able to immediately build upon it and increase and multiply again in the next 33-day cycle, which I don't know when that might be. It might be well for you to put on paper what your daily pledge to the violet flame, and then signify at the end of the 33 days, now that you have accomplished it. Write then, what is your commitment, and send it to the messenger. Then send again a letter in the 33 days informing her, as you know you have kept your commitment. You say, yeah, but our messenger has ascended. We don't have her now. Oh, no, you don't have to have it. Just write it down first, which is your commitment to the Spirit, and then write it down afterwards. He didn't say she would write you back, but you will see what advantage you, or how far you've gone with this. By so setting your commitment in writing, written with your own life energy, you shall know the support of the violet flame angels in your fulfillment of that commitment. Rejoice in the gifts of God. For I do, beloved, and I rejoice most of all in this hour for the gift of you. I am and I remain with you, Om Ritas, Savior of the Violet Planet, Savior of all who would be saved through the path of the seventh ray. What a great, great message. What a great, great promise. If we are willing to do our part, heaven will certainly do theirs. Beloved Om Ritas, we have felt your presence. We haven't taken into our being your teaching. So walk with us and have that priest or priestess of the seventh ray walking with us, reminding us and working with us that we might truly become adepts with such power of the violet flame that we can melt all of the negative substances around us, that we might become free, free, free for the ascension. For we do ask it, O beloved Amritas. Amen. Amen.